Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Michele Rahal with Channel Shift. Now, far be it from me to claim that I've got any kind of a clear understanding of the commodities world, which is buying and selling corn, oil, gold, rice, whatever. And I particularly have trouble understanding those commodities that deal with powering automobiles. Now, having said that, I remember being at Indianapolis Raceway Park, which is now known as O'Reilly Raceway Park, where I was having a conversation with Johnny Rutherford. This was 2 races into the newly formed Indy Racing League. Now, his statement to me was that the IRL was American racing for American drivers. My reply to him was pretty simple. Then why are there so many foreign drivers in the sport? He acted disgusted, and he can be that way sometimes, myopic in particular. But it brought up a question into my mind all these years later that seems to have me going in reverse. I'm no protectionist. I firmly believe in an open market economy. The world is flat, technology, God bless leveling the playing field, all of that. But here's the crazy part, and stick with me here if you can. How can American farmers compete with the largest economy in South America? I'm talking about ethanol here. Our corn farmers and the Brazilian government's overt actions to import sugarcane-derived ethanol. What the hell happened to American independence? Did we forget about Thomas Jefferson, or did he just move on up to the east side? I've tried repeatedly to contact Apex Brazil, the representatives of the Brazilian government's global commodities initiatives, and guess what? No answer. Over and over again. Why should they? They have a lobby arm in Washington big enough to choke the bling right off an Arab oil sheik. Here's the deal. The American ethanol contingent was simply notified their contract with the Indy Racing League was done and that Brazil would represent the league in its so-called green initiatives. Don't you think that after spending millions of dollars of the Holman family money to bring down a rival racing series, the very least the league could have done was to try to work out a deal with the American farmers instead of giving any kind of prominence to a third world country trying to supply the United States with the fuel? Does any of this sound familiar? Saudi Arabia, Abu Dhabi, Kuwait, Venezuela. Why wouldn't the economic independence of North America take some precedence over a quick buck from the Brazilians, even though they have promised to bring us more beads in the future? Remember the Indians in the Manhattan deal? Well, the weak excuse is even though they have a tariff on their product, they say it's cheaper, it's better for the environment, and it doesn't take food out of the world's food supply. All horse manure, and we can use that as a fuel too, by the way. It's cheaper because the sugar cane they produce is farmed by what's tantamount to slave labor. They really don't give a damn about the environment. Have you ever seen what the sugarcane farming did to South Florida and Lake Okeechobee? And the byproduct of the sugarcane, and this is the best part, it's sugar, it's food. I don't blame the Indy Racing League for getting sponsorship, but they could have taken a more Rutherford approach to it by allowing the American farmers to try and work out a sponsorship deal that kept the big news at home. The real challenge to our farmers is now that we have a new administration, convince them to spread some of that stimulus money around our own neighborhood instead of allowing us to slip into a weaker economy by slapping our farmers in the face. The next contract round that the Indy Racing League goes into with Brazil and ethanol needs to have a component that gives the U.S. a chance. It is American racing, right? And don't drop that tariff. Thanks for watching. I'm Michele Rahal with Channel Shift.